Alright guys, welcome back on another episode on Proven Power Cycles. For those who don't know me, my name is Eric and I am the tuner here at Proven Power Cycles. Lewis is in the back, or rather in the front, and so is Daryl. It is a brand new day. We're just now opening up and figured we'll knock this out real quick. We actually have a Ducati V4 coming in today. But we are getting ready to baseline this 2024 R1. So what we're doing today on this R1 is kind of simple, straight to the point. Well, first, we're gonna baseline this bad boy. We're gonna go ahead and run it through. I believe the owner said he's around 500 miles, which, let's check it. 512 miles on the odometer. So he's got 500 miles on the odometer, 512 to be exact. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna baseline it real quickly. We're gonna pull it off the dyno, and then we're gonna do the oil change, and then he's getting a full Akrapovic exhaust system. So with that being said, after we do the Akrapovic exhaust system, we're gonna throw it back on the dyno and re-dyno it for him. In fact, I'll even throw him a little bonus. What we'll do is they have a little restrictor in the Airbox. We'll take out that restrictor for him as well, and then we'll re-dyno the bike and show you guys how much extra power you can make, because truthfully we've done filters and stuff like that, and usually the difference is around 4 to 5 wheel horsepower. So what we can do is we'll check that out and we'll actually throw that in for them, and then we'll go from there. So I want to show you guys that on this video. I think it'll be really cool, really informative for you guys. So without further ado, let me start up the bike, let me get it warmed up and do some baselines. So we have the 2024 R1 all disassembled, well Daryl did, and so he's gotten the 2024 R1 all the stock exhaust system. We took all the components off right now, and I thought it would be really cool to show you guys the weight difference between a full stock exhaust system versus what the Akrapovic exhaust system weighs. So he just threw everything on here. Now this is all the bolts, the flanges, or the clamps rather, muffler, muffler, cat, header, the whole shebang. And we're at 26 points, well,
that's without the parallel system.
26 pounds to 3 ounces. And this is, well, this is without the exhaust servo. But the cables aren't really gonna add too much more weight, maybe another ounce or two. So really we're 26 pounds, all right? 26 pounds, that's pretty substantial for a stock exhaust system, especially when you're talking about a single muffler. Some of the twin muffler stuff, like the 14s and stuff, they're very, very heavy. But for a single muffler, especially a very small system all in all, 26 pounds, 3 ounces, almost 4 ounces, that's pretty heavy. So we got the full Akrapovic, and here we are. We're at 10.1 pounds. And that's with everything. That's with all the hardware. Yeah, that's that with the heat shield.
Probably the bag.
Yeah. So we got hardware, we got heat shield, we got the muffler, we got the headers, the mid pipe, everything.
The bracket. The
bracketry, everything. And it is at 10.1 pounds. What was the other one? 26.3. 26.3. So yeah, 16 pounds off of.
Still have the cable, so we might shave another half a pound there, a pound.
Yeah, something like that. Between this and the actual motor, I didn't think about that. Yeah, so we can weigh the motor. So yeah, I believe we are at 26.3 pounds, and now we're at 10.1. So we could technically, yeah, that's probably a good 16 and a half pounds. 16 and a half pounds of weight savings that you guys get with swapping this exhaust system out. So keep that in your minds when you guys are thinking about what mods to do in the future. That's huge to do. The OEM header is titanium, so even if you guys decide to go with just a 3/4 exhaust system, that's still gonna save you a lot of weight regardless. But again, this is a full system, he is going to maximize the horsepower by getting the full system. You're definitely gonna get more horsepower and a better power band, all in all, with a full system, comparative to that stock header. Now, I know we're gonna get some comments on this. No, we have not done a direct comparison from a stock header to the full system with the same bike on the same day. Yes, I would love to do so. So if you guys do have a slip-on system and you guys are contemplating, whoever out there, if you are contemplating doing a full system versus that slip-on, let us know. We'd love to help you out and we'd love to do that test. So again, if you do have a full system or you have a slip-on system and you want to compare the two, give us a shout at our shop line at 727-256-0001 or visit us on our website at www.provenpowercycles.com and let us know. Send us an inquiry, let us know, and so we can actually do that full-on test, and we can overlay the two graphs together and actually give some people some real data on same-day testing, okay? We have the full Akrapovic all installed. Daryl absolutely crushed this. It looks killer. Oh, this thing is beautiful. Akrapovic, as always, has such a nice exhaust, the styling, the craftsmanship, everything about it, really. It just looks so, so clean. So we just have to throw the bolts in here on the oil cooler and everything, get it all bolted up. But we wanted to give you guys a decent view in here and kind of like let you guys see how it looks before we patch it all up. Usually I kind of just tell the guys to throw this all on at this point, like just throw all the plastics on and then send it. But like I said, I wanted to show you guys really the craftsmanship of Akrapovic. Now, the only other thing is we ran out of oil filters. We're doing the service on this bike, and the primary thing, honestly, is to do the oil change. That's like the biggie. You want to inspect the oil. You want to make sure that there's no shavings, anything abnormal in the oil. And also, for the first 500 miles, for those of you who are watching this, the other biggie is that your clutch is also brand new. So not only do you have your piston rings, but you also have your clutch. Those two components are breaking in when you're heating up and cooling down the motor. Also the camshafts as well, but primarily it's the piston rings wearing into the cylinder walls and the clutch that's also kind of breaking in. So just like if you guys were to do a new set of brake pads, you know how you have a break-in procedure, how you gotta like squeeze the pads at like 35 mile an hour, then 45 mile an hour, then 65, whatever the break-in procedure is per company. It's kind of the same thing with your clutch and like the piston rings and the camshafts and all that. Each one of these components has a break-in procedure. So that's kind of the reason why you go through that 500 mile break-in. You get a lot of these particulates that are gonna get mixed up in your oil, and that's why they highly suggest that you do it in the first 500 miles so that you can get all that metal out of the engine. So you're gonna see some extra flake in there, some more than others, but you're gonna see some flake in that oil. Don't be surprised if you guys are doing it by yourselves or at home that you see a little bit of flake. So obviously the more experienced shops out there, they kind of already know what to look for if anything looks out of line or basically anything to be worried about versus not worried about. So, and in this case, the oil looked completely fine to us. So we need to get another oil filter. Like I said, we ran out of filters. We didn't realize it. So I'm gonna go pick up one tonight. So with that being said though, we're not gonna start this bike just yet. We're gonna fire it up tomorrow. We're gonna get it on the dyno tomorrow, and then we'll start doing the full ECU flashing and dyno tuning tomorrow. So we got the 2024 R1 up on the dyno. We have the full exhaust, the full Akrapovic exhaust installed. We got new oil in it. We got the new oil filter. We figured we'd do a cold start real quick. I believe we got everything wiped down. Yep. 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 All right. We got it all wiped down. Let's see what it sounds like. Oh, that sounds so good. So you're gonna see a little bit of smoke. That's the residual from the cleaning that we do on the exhaust pipe. So whenever it's titanium pipe, you want to wipe it down with WD-40. Whenever it is stainless steel, you want to wipe it down with brake clean. So all that smoke that you're seeing right now, that's just all that excess from when we wiped it down. It's gonna burn that off, so not a big deal, guys. But what we'll do now, we're gonna let it kind of cool down a little bit. Yeah, check this out. She's smoking. So all that fiberglass inside of there, which all that packing is, that's deep inside there, all it is fiberglass. So whenever you do a few revs like that, yeah, it stinks. Whenever you do a few revs like that, what all you're doing is literally heating it up and you're catching those little fibers on fire in there. It's not a major deal. Again, it's designed to take the heat, so I'm not really gonna stress it. Every exhaust system that we do, they do that. So, and the more packing that you have, the more it's gonna smoke like that. So, but what we're gonna do now on this bike, we're gonna re-baseline it with the full exhaust system, and then we'll start tuning. And then what I'll do after that is I'm gonna go in there and modify the OEM Airbox and the air filter, and then we'll rerun it again with the tuning to show you guys kind of how much extra power you can make with that little mod done. So this is for all my Yamaha fans out there. So that's what's badass about this. This is what I love. It's just that beautiful, clean, titanium look. Yeah, it looks good. That's beautiful work right there. We'll go over all the numbers at the end of the video. We'll show you guys how it baseline. We'll show you the new baseline with the Acra and the tuning and all that crap. So, and then like I said, at the end of the video, I'm gonna modify the Airbox. I'll modify some of the other components inside of there, and then we'll show you how much extra power we pick up just from doing that. We are working with this 24R1, and this is what I wanted to show you when we were talking about the Airbox mod. So right here you see this cone, this restrictor plate. Basically we're going to remove this restrictor plate, this bad boy right here, and then we're also going to take off this screen in the front. Okay, so we're going to take off the screen, take off the restrictor plate. We're going to throw this back in the bike. We already have some dyno numbers for you guys, what it was making before all of this. We're going to throw this in there. We're going to throw it back on the dyno because we just had about another 2 or 3 bikes come through, and then we're going to rerun the bike with all of this removed. Okay, look at the difference now, massive difference. So he's got a little bit of gunk in the air filter. We're going to blow this all out and reinstall this back into the bike. But here are the components that we took off right here. Here is basically that restrictor plate, and it is, I mean, you can see the difference here. It's gonna be a massive, massive difference on that as far as your opening goes and your actual surface area. And then here is that screen. So it's kind of hard to see with the light behind it, but the screen is another type of restriction. Now it does kind of help catch more particulates, but all in all, for the most part, this paper element filter is gonna grab more than enough stuff, debris and whatnot, to keep it out of your Airbox. aside from cleaning this guy's chain and sprocket and doing a slight adjustment on the chain and sprocket kit, this is the kind of extra shit that I do for people when they come in here. I'm actually polishing out his tank. There was some blemishes on the tank that I noticed, along with a few other little minor pieces of plastic on the bike. It is a newer bike, but I just noticed these little blemishes, and I could tell this guy really takes a lot of pride in the bike. So I'm doing him a solid, and I'm basically just polishing out some of the little blemishes that I noticed that he had in the paint, whether it be, I don't know, from riding or what have you, or maybe someone had a jacket on or something leaned up against the tank over here on the side. I don't know, but either way though, some of the bikes, when they do come in and the paint looks really nice and they just have this little blemish or something, you know, a few little spots that are easy to hit, I'll usually go through and polish them out for the customer. And we always, like I said, we always kind of spray, do like a quick little detail on most bikes here. As long as they're not caked up with like bug guts and stuff like that, we usually do like a quick little detail and say like, here's another little blemish over here. So there's another little blemish right, let's see if I can get it right around, okay, like right here. There's another little blemish. There you go, you can see it. So I'm gonna get this blemish out over here as well. So the bike's looking good, everything is looking killer. Loving the way the exhaust is coming in, it looks awesome. So we're about to go over the final numbers with you guys. All right guys, so the 2024 R1 is officially done and gone. So I wanted to go over the numbers with you guys. I thought this was pretty impressive. So let's go over this in stages so I can show you guys the progression of the bike as we went along with these jobs, okay? As he came in the beginning, he baselined at 160.5 horsepower, which is kind of low, honestly, but it was a low mileage R1, and 71 pound-foot of torque. After we installed the full Akrapovic system, we've got it all the way up to 164, which I know is still not much, but it's still pretty damn good, considering they have a restriction up top, okay? All through the mid-range here, we made really good gains. We picked up another 3 pound-foot of torque. But all in all, we picked up a solid 7-wheel here. We got a 7-wheel down low. So all in all, and the air fuel is actually a lot closer with this Akrapovic. It's a little lean right in here, but all in all, it gets pretty good the higher in the RPM. And then we have a lean spot here where they shut down the throttle plates. But all in all, not bad. So what we then did was we threw in a couple of flashes here. We did a couple of maps, I should say, and got this all pulled up, got the air fuel pretty dialed in as quickly as we could. Now, I didn't get a chance to, well, it's not that I didn't get a chance to, I made a change, but we didn't see it for whatever reason in the ECU right away. So I had to make another little change, but you get the idea. We still peaked out and we still started to come down on that back half there at 14,000 RPM. But we got it all the way up to 178 wheel with the flash and 76 pound-foot of torque. So the one thing I really wanted to show you guys though was this Airbox mod. So we did the Airbox mod and we finished flashing the ECU. We just kind of did a couple more tweaks. So let's just look at the differences between this little modified Airbox and let's see, the modified Airbox and then just the flash and tune that we did. So look at the gains that we made up here in the higher RPM. So we picked up 4-wheel from doing that Airbox mod. Here we picked up another 4-wheel horsepower at the peak. Notice now, this is what I was talking about, how we started to come down on the back half. I extended that RPM out. Again, I'm not sure why I didn't do it the first couple of times, but it didn't like the RPM, I guess, that I was setting it at. I changed the RPM just a smidge and we ended up getting it to work, so who knew? I did change over the crossover point. I did extend this out a little bit more. So we do have a little bit of a difference here. I figured though we were gonna pick better power on the, I feel like we made better power ultimately, so we picked up 3-wheel here, and then we only lost about, so we lost about 1.5 or so wheel horsepower on that transition. But all in all, we picked up better. We picked up a solid 3-wheel and a little bit longer of a timeline. So I ran with that instead, just to let you guys know. So, and then again, we picked up a little bit more horsepower here, another 3-wheel here in this higher, around 10,000 RPM. So again, all in all, pretty damn good gains considering we just did a slight modification to the OEM air filter. I'm very happy with that. So what we'll do now is we'll take the final numbers compared to how the bike actually came in, which is going to be right here. Here are the differences, which is going to be a massive difference. So 132 wheel all the way up to 146 in the mid-range. Here in the mid-range at 7,000 RPM, we picked up a solid 11 wheel from the baseline to the final. And then up here, which is the doozy, is way up here in the higher RPM. We went from 148 to 182. We'll round that up. 149 to 182. You're talking about, again, gains of, what is that, 34, 33 wheel horsepower? So massive, massive gains and 12 pound-foot of torque. But anyway, guys, at the end of the day, I'm sure this customer is going to be absolutely thrilled. He was ecstatic when he heard the exhaust and he heard the bike and we were ripping on it. He was pulling up. He's like, dude, I knew that was my bike. It sounded so good. Anyway, it's cool to hear those things from the customers when they do come in. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We really appreciate you guys. If you guys could, please leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, do all the cool things so we can show you guys more information and more bikes in the future. That would be awesome. It would also go a long way with us. It really does go a long way with us. We appreciate you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you on another episode. We all gotta say
bye, guys. See you later.